I'm going to totally derail this, Kyle, because this has to be said on some internet platform somewhere, because god damn it, I've been like vibrating in my seat trying to get these thoughts out to whoever can fucking stomach them. The Batman. Are you hyped?
Oh yeah. 3 hours, I don't give a shit. Yeah, I'm a hype for it.
Okay.
I'm not watching any more trailers. Stop putting out fucking trailers. They're gonna put out 7 more fucking trailers. Stop the trailers.
I haven't watched the most recent one. I don't need it.
Not doing it. I watched the first one and the first like full length one. I'm like, that's all I needed.
No, I don't really want to know what it is or what it's about, because I'm painting a picture in my head. It's probably going to ruin it for me, because I'm going to get married to that picture that's in my head, and it's not going to be that, and I'm going to have a little freak out in the theater. It's going to be 3 hours of me be like, no, it's wrong. But I'm curious what they're going to do, because I have a theory that Batman's going to be a bit of a fuck-up in this one. Or at least I hope he's going to be a bit of a fuck-up, because we've seen Robert Pattinson be a fuck-up in recent years, and he's exceedingly good at it.
He's good at it.
Like, good time. He was a good fuck-up.
Yeah.
I haven't seen The Lighthouse, but some of those images of him, he looks kind of squirrely. He looks kind of uncertain.
That is a cinematic experience, I'll tell you.
Yeah, I do need to watch that. But I'm curious if we're going to go young Batman, who's kind of a fuck-up. He's kind of a stumble fuck, and Alfred's going to be like, you're fucking it up, son. Yeah. The Wayneses, they aren't happy with this.
One thing I do want to say two things about that before we jump in. Paul Dano, they are burying him. They are not showing you any Paul Dano.
That's the other thing that's the other thing I need to address, Kyle, because you don't read you've read some Batman comics. Mm-hmm. You would have read more if I had given them to you. But we stopped working together around the time that would have been a good time to do it. So Kyle he's not as up on his Batman comics as I am. But I don't think this is a Riddler movie.
It's not.
I don't think so.
Are we we're not even going to have him in it?
No, I think it's someone else.
So it's going to be like Batman Begins, where we're going to bury it. We just put the Joker in like the last little thing.
Well, like Batman Begins had a thing where they were like sneaking villains in there, where it's like Victor Zsasz. He's there. He doesn't do anything. He gets punched. Cool. We have the Scarecrow. He's here. He's an associate. He's like an underboss of Ra's al Ghul. But I think, and this is me reaching, the costume design is all we've had to see. Because you're right, he hasn't been in much of the marketing, and Paul Dano is an exceedingly talented actor.
Love Paul Dano.
He's fantastic.
Love him.
The character design looks a lot to me like Hush, who was a very, very popular, not character, but story arc in the comics in the early 2000s. And his character design is evocative of Hush.
Okay. And
then also, The Court of Owls is another story arc from the New 52 era of the comics that I'd be very curious how big they're going to go with this story, because if you want to make like a grand conspiracy or something, because a lot of the marketing for this movie that I have seen has to do with like truth seeking, as in like uncovering a conspiracy of some sort.
Always fun.
And the reason why the Court of Owls was cool was, one, the Court of Owls is cool, and the Talons are a really cool concept. But beyond that, it's like the idea of that story was there's a shit ton about Gotham and its history that even Batman, doesn't know.
Oh, okay.
So it's like he's a stranger in his own city. So I'm curious if they're going to do that, where it's like the Riddler he's put in front of the marketing, but it's like we're not actually. I don't think that's what we're here for, because personally, I don't think the Riddler's ever really put asses in seats if it's not Jim Carrey.
That was a different reason why the Riddler put asses in seats. It was Jim Carrey putting asses in seats, not the Riddler.
It's Jim Carrey as the Riddler.
Yeah.
It's not the Riddler. It's not the character, it's the actor.
No, I was going to say, they're burying Paul Dano. They're not giving us like any shots of him. So I do think he will be in the film. But yeah, he might not be a huge presence, which is okay. It's fine. Maybe it might be like a mega sad ending where it's like evil prevails and they're setting him up for the next film. I am excited about Colin Farrell as the Penguin. I'm actually super excited because I do like Colin Farrell.
Yeah, I mean, it's my brother.
Yeah. The other thing that the Batman franchise, ever since I think since it started in the 80s when it really kicked off, they have knocked the Alfred out of the park every fucking time they've casted him. There's not a single bad Alfred, in my opinion.
That's a good observation. You're absolutely right.
I'm like, fucking Gollum, Andy Serkis is. I'm like, okay, perfect. They have yet to disappoint me with the casting.
No, that's a very solid choice, and I think putting him next to Robert Pattinson reinforces my idea of being the humbling presence. Because he is a robust individual, and he's still quite vital. Like he's not like Michael Caine, where you blow on him, he starts crying. So I think I'm onto something there. I'm probably totally wrong, but I needed to put this out there for somebody who might hear it.
Regardless, you have my money. I will be there.
Yeah,
opening weekend.
me too.